What naturally makes you attractive as a partner, lover, friend, or collaborator without even trying? What innate qualities make you shine in relationships? What are some natural blind spots and maybe even turn-offs that can hinder the balance of our relationships? Well, the sign that Venus falls in at the time of your birth can reveal how we naturally approach love and relationships. Whether it's for our first date or a milestone anniversary, romantic or platonic, Venus impacts matters of the heart and how we most easily and intuitively connect with one another. In this video, I'll be explaining the meaning behind Venus in every sign, your hidden relationship superpowers, and tips for fostering a more fulfilling relationship. I am so excited for this video because it's also great for getting to know any new or existing friends, partners, family members, or even collaborators, as I will be offering tips for how to entice and connect with them naturally. So for this video, if you don't already know your Venus sign or the Venus sign of whoever you want to learn more about, I've left a link for a natal chart calculator in the video description. So go ahead and pause it and figure out what your sign is. In the video description, you will also find timestamps for each zodiac sign, so you're welcome to go ahead and skip on over to your sign. And finally, if you're interested in aligning your schedule with the cosmos, the moon phases, the seasons, and more, then be sure to check out the HeyAlinaAlive Astrology Planner for 2023 and the wall calendar. It's my creation and they're on sale right now. This is probably our biggest warehouse sale, where if you buy a wall calendar, you will get a free planner. That's right. But it's only for a limited time, and it's only for people in this video or whoever has the discount code, which I will link in the video description as well. So be sure to check it out. And with that said, let's dive in. You can go ahead and click the timestamp for the Venus sign that you're interested in learning about. I'll see you there. Hello, hello, my Venus and Aries friends. Now, with Aries being a cardinal fire sign that is ruled by the very action-oriented planet of Mars, Venus in Aries individuals like yourselves can be very upfront and direct when it comes to matters of love and connection. So first up, let's talk about your special charm, or your love superpowers, as I like to put it. So people are often most attracted to Venus and Aries people for their lighthearted, fun-loving, and even childlike charm. So when you're feeling good, you can naturally bring a light and curious energy to any interaction, which is what often draws people to you the most. Now, this is what helps people let their guard down and helps them to feel more comfortable enough to open up to you. Now, some blind spots that some Venus and Aries people might have is not realizing when you're making things a little bit too much about yourself. So keep that in mind if you notice you might be repelling someone, or you're trying to figure out what it is that might be causing a disconnect. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus and Aries person, or maybe this is your transit and you're looking to get to know yourself a little bit more, people with this type of transit can often be turned on by energy and activity. So a fun date or a general activity that can create some sort of connection could look like trying things that are new, participating in workshops, going to new or unique places, and prioritizing adventure when possible. Now, with that said, some Venus and Aries turn-offs can include relationships that feel vague, ambiguous, a little too mature or stuffy, or avoidant. So when people are upfront and down for interesting experiences, Venus and Aries people usually tend to stick around. So when it comes to relationships with someone with Venus and Aries, honesty is the best policy. They aren't fans of playing any type of games, being evasive, or anything like that, unless it is tied to an elaborate joke or surprise. So be sure to encourage their spontaneous side and keep things fresh. These folks love taking the lead in love, so go with the flow and let them take charge a few of the times. Embrace their whims and keep in mind that they love a little bit of friendly competition, even with you. I also want to pull a card from my deck for anybody who's looking for some guidance right now or some insight. If you're watching this right now, then this is for you. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Interesting. So for anyone who maybe needed to hear this right now, this is just a friendly reminder that in all of existence, We are all synergistically connected, whether that is that you believe that we are made in the image of a higher being, and that means that by default, we are all connected because we all have that spark within us. Maybe you understand that we're all in a cosmic soup right now, but our human perception of reality with duality is that we're all separate. But this is a reminder that we are all connected spiritually, mentally, and based off of creation. And when you set your mind to it and you take aligned steps in alignment with your connections, the universe has no other choice to align with it. And this is also a friendly reminder that there are people like you out there. If you are looking for connection and you're looking to have open conversations with people where you feel like, oh my God, you get it. Oh, you watch that show? Oh, you watched that YouTube channel too? You have that random niche interest? There are people like that out there for you. And now more than any other point in human civilization, do we have incredible opportunities to find one another through different apps like the Meetup app, or, Facebook groups, or, online group chats and things like that. It's about putting yourself out there, just showing up, seeing what happens. And yeah, I just want to remind you of that. Oh, and one more thing that I feel called to mention is that there are likely people in your life that would love to support you. And it's just one phone call or text away. And sometimes it might be that it's just a little outside of your comfort zone. So just remember that. Remember to have an open perspective, to maybe shift your perspective of what resources are available to you to feel connection. All right, I hope that this reading for Venus and Aries people resonated with you. And if it did, be sure to comment 3 Aries emojis or comment whether or not you identified with this reading. And if you're watching this to better understand a significant other, family member, or friend, I would really love to hear if you noticed any of these transits in them from an outsider's perspective. Like, I love to hear stuff like that. But either way, when you comment, you will be letting me know that you made it to the end of the video and that you're coming from the Aries group. So with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hello, my Venus and Taurus friends. As a fixed earth sign ruled by the planet of Venus herself, you can often bring a stable, reliable, and grounding energy to matters of love and connection. Your presence can often be soothing, and it can help to create a sense of comfort in those around you. Now, when it comes to your love superpowers, your very earthy, sensual nature is what often draws people to you the most naturally. People are often most attracted to your down-to-earth demeanor and your ability to create a sense of security and comfort. You have a natural charm that is both practical and grounding, which helps others to feel at ease and often opens them up to deeper connection with you. Now, with that said, Venus and Taurus individual might have blind spots or tendency to become too set in your ways or resistant to change. So it's important to remember that growth and evolution are key to maintaining healthy relationships. So try to remember to be open to new experiences and perspectives. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with Venus and Taurus, or maybe you're someone who knows someone with that type of transit and you're trying to get to know them, Venus and Taurus individuals are often drawn to things like stability, comfort, and sensual experiences. This can include things like cooking a romantic dinner together, indulging in a luxurious spa day, or simply taking a long walk in nature. Now, with that said, some turn-offs for Venus in Taurus can include anything that feels rushed or overly intense. Relationships that lack stability or a sense of security are likely to turn them off as well, so be aware of that. Now, when it comes to a relationship with someone with Venus and Taurus, patience and a willingness to establish a strong foundation is key. They tend to value consistency and security, so it's important for them to find partners who also share those values. Now, in a relationship, they often appreciate partners who are also down to earth and grounded, as well as someone who's willing to put in the effort to create a stable and comfortable environment. They often enjoy taking things slow and savoring each moment. So So try not to rush things. And lastly, for my Venus and Taurus friends, remember to embrace your qualities and let your sensual, stable self shine through in your relationships. The world needs more calming and grounding energy like yours. I hope that this reading for Venus and Taurus resonated with you. And before we go, I'm going to go ahead and pull out an oracle card for anybody who might be looking for guidance. This will be for you. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. All right, Venus and Taurus people, or anybody who might be watching this right now, it sounds like the message for you is a reminder that you are capable of creating what it is that you want. And the key to doing that, the secret sauce, is often the discipline. And when I see this, I feel called to remind y'all of the concept of healthy discomfort and of a growth mindset. I encourage you to look up both of those things, but healthy discomfort is basically the perspective that there are things in life that are uncomfortable for us, but it can actually help us grow. And that self-love isn't always just super relaxing things. Self-love is also doing difficult things and practicing self-discipline. So this can look like, oh, I need to finally book that doctor's appointment. You don't really want to do it, right? That doesn't feel relaxing. That doesn't feel soothing, but that's a form of self-love. Or maybe you know that you want to start working out, but you just have this perspective of it of like, oh, it really sucks. Yes, being uncomfortable sucks. But I don't know. I just want to offer that perspective shift. Another good analogy is muscles, building muscles in the body, whether that's muscles when you're working out or even facial muscles from smiling, or the muscles that we have in our digestive tract. In order for those muscles to function properly, they have to be used. In order for muscles to grow, they have to be strained, because the body needs to have a message to the brain of like, oh, I don't have enough muscle to do what I need to do in order to function. And it's through that discomfort that it's actually helping our body understand how to best grow in the environment that it needs to. So yeah, again, this card says, I can accomplish what I set my mind to. It's all about the mind. Okay, one more thing. If you've done with this reading, go ahead and click off. But something else that comes to mind with this is that so much of our lives is mental. It's mental. And what I mean by that is what you believe you can do is often what you end up doing. And a great example of this are overly confident people. You know, have you ever seen people in your own life or online who are super confident, and you're sitting back watching like, yo, why are you so confident? Is your intelligence in alignment with that? Is your capabilities in alignment with that? Why are you so confidently putting yourselves out there, going for what you want? And you kind of are taken aback, but they end up doing it. They end up actually accomplishing what they want. And oftentimes it's because they truly believe that they can do it. And because they believed it, they figured out a way. And so getting back to what is your image of yourself? How much do you believe in yourself relative to whatever it is that you want to do? When you put your mind to it and you have that clear intention and you're able to process and really recognize, okay, that's a limiting belief over here that was kind of telling me that I couldn't do it because of this, that, and the third, but I can still try. Why not me? By processing that and clearing your path mentally towards what you want, that can be really helpful. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that. If you made it to the end of this reading for Venus and Taurus, go ahead and comment 3 Taurus emojis to let me know that you made it. But yeah, that's the end of this reading, and I am sending you my love. And don't forget about the planner sale, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Hello, my Venus and Gemini friends. So as a communicative air sign ruled by the planet of Mercury, those with Venus and Gemini are naturally curious, chatty, and really great at adapting to different people and environments when it comes to relationships and matters of the heart. So first up, let's talk about your very unique charm, or your love superpowers, as I like to put it. So people are often drawn to Venus and Gemini individuals for their charming, versatile, and often eclectic nature. So you can often have the ability to effortlessly switch between different personalities and interests, making you a pretty fun and engaging companion. Now, one blind spot for Venus and Gemini individuals can be a tendency to be a little too scattered or non-committal in matters of the heart. You can also sometimes resist relationships that might promise to become too comfortable, maybe stuffy or mature, even if you might be looking for a long-term relationship. You may also come across to some as being a little aloof, fickle, or flaky. So don't be afraid to say no to plans if you are not 100% sure that you will go. This will help to prevent any sort of corrosion in your relationships. Now, to better understand and work with your Venus and Gemini nature, try to focus on developing your emotional intelligence. This can tremendously help you to understand and connect with others on a deeper level as you better connect with yourself on that level first. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus and Gemini person, they can often be turned on by intelligent conversations, wit, and spontaneity. They tend to appreciate very active, fun-filled lifestyles and enjoy trying new things and exploring different perspectives. Now, with that said, Venus and Gemini individuals can sometimes be turned off by monotony and routine. They may also struggle with relationships that feel a little too intense or emotionally demanding. So it's important for partners to respect their needs for freedom and independence. Now, in a relationship with someone with Venus and Gemini, communication is key. They highly value intellectual connection with their partner, and they often enjoy talking about a variety of topics. So try to be open-minded and spontaneous, and don't be afraid to challenge their perspectives from time to time. I hope that this Venus and Gemini reading resonated with you. And next, I'm going to go ahead and pull from my Oracle deck for anybody who maybe is looking for some insight right now or is open to hearing a different perspective. This is for you. All right. The card I pulled is Courage. I find the inner strength to face fear with confidence. That's really beautiful. So for anybody who's watching this right now and got this card, I just feel called to remind you that so much of what you dream for, so much of what you want is completely accessible. And oftentimes, the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be is courage. It's courage to ask for help. It's courage to finally face whatever it is that you might have been procrastinating on, maybe because it made you feel uncomfortable, it made you feel like you didn't know anything, or it felt overwhelming. Having the courage to take the first step can often be the difference that is needed for a different outcome. I also feel called to remind y'all, anybody who's hearing this right now, that the definition of insanity is expecting different results while having the same actions. I feel like I'm messing it up, but the gist of it is that you can't expect for things in your life to change or for new environments to pop up or anything like that if you are doing all of the same actions, because you're just going to get the same results. So have the courage to try something different and stay open to the possibility that through that courage, you can have change in your life. I also feel called to remind y'all that disagreements are often really healthy. They're actually super healthy and important for having a healthy community, healthy family, healthy relationships. And it's a matter of how you navigate that disagreement. The idea that we're supposed to always avoid disagreeing with people isn't very healthy, because oftentimes that can lead to us building up how we feel inside, walking on eggshells, and it can often increase our stress levels because we're trying to constantly behave and fit in a certain box that's approved by everybody. But it's often through disagreement that we end up learning a lot. It's through disagreement that it can open up an opportunity for you to educate somebody kindly, or for somebody to kindly educate you, or for you to hear a brand new perspective that actually helps you grow as a human being, which is one of the reasons why we're here on the planet, right? So yeah, I don't know. I just feel called to remind you that. All right, I hope you liked this reading. And if you did, be sure to comment. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment 3 Gemini emojis to let me know that you came from the Gemini group. Don't forget that we're having the awesome epic planner sale. And with all of that said, I'm sending you my love, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace. Hello, hello, my Venus and Cancer friends. So, as a water sign ruled by the very emotional and intuitive astral body that is our moon, those with Venus in Cancer are naturally nurturing, loving, and deeply caring when it comes to relationships and matters of the heart. So first up, let's talk about your very unique charm, or what I like to call your love superpowers. So people are often naturally drawn to Venus in Cancer individuals for their emotional depth, their warmth, and strong intuition. You have an innate ability to sense and respond to the needs of others, making you a supportive and very comforting partner for many. Now, one blind spot that some Venus and Cancer individuals might have can be a tendency to become overly attached or a bit clingy in relationships. You may also struggle with expressing your own emotions, leading to others believing that you might be distant or uninterested. So be aware of this. To better understand and work with your Venus and Cancer nature, try to focus on balancing your emotional needs with those of your partner. You can also work to develop your emotional intelligence and communication skills to better express yourself and to connect with others. Now, this can be achieved by finding healthy outlets to express your feelings and practicing self-care to ensure that your emotional needs are met. Now, by doing so, you can better understand and connect with others on an emotional level, strengthening your relationships in the process. Also, try to keep an open mind and be receptive to new experiences and perspectives. This can help you to grow both personally and in your relationships. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus in Cancer person, they can often be turned on by strong emotional connection, emotional intelligence, comfort, and security. They appreciate partners who are willing to make a commitment and are especially drawn to those who are nurturing and understanding just like they are. Now, with that said, Venus and Cancer individuals can be turned off by partners who are emotionally unavailable or insensitive. They may also struggle with relationships that lack intimacy and emotional depth. So be aware of that if you're interested in Venus and Cancer people. Now, if you're in a relationship with Venus and Cancer, emotional intimacy is crucial. They highly value strong and secure connections with their partners, and they often need to feel that their emotions are being valued and respected. So, try to create a safe and comfortable space for them to open up and to be their true selves. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this reading for Venus and Cancer individuals, whether that is your sign or maybe you're interested in learning more about a partner or somebody who has that in their charts. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and just pull from my Oracle deck for anybody who's watching this who is maybe looking for some insight right now. If you are not, you can go ahead and comment 3 Cancer emojis to let me know that you made it to the end. Oh, and a card just popped out for you. Ooh, forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. Very interesting. Huh. So if you're watching this right now and you're already looking for some sort of insight, this message is for you. It's a reminder of the power of forgiveness, and that forgiveness oftentimes has nothing to do with the person who wronged you. It has all to do with your relationship, with your emotions, and how you process interactions with other people. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, this has been hard for me in the past, and something that has helped me and sort of deepened my empathy for others, even those who have wronged me, is that everybody's on a journey. Everybody's on a journey of learning. And also, depending on the situation, of course, a lot of people communicate and connect in very different ways, sometimes in ways that we hate, that really frustrates us. And for many people, it's rooted in how they innately connect in their own unique way, and that might be different from yours. If that resonates with you, that's the message for you. I also want to acknowledge that there's plenty of situations where we've been wrong that has nothing to do with personality types or what sign our Venus is in or anything like that. And it's a very personal matter of forgiving people. But this came up for y'all and I wanted to discuss it. I also want to bring up the idea that sometimes resentment can lead to a skewing of our perception of reality. It can lead to us assuming that people who look the same or act the same as somebody or groups of people who wronged us, assuming that they are all the same or that they will, of course, they're going to do what I think that they're going to do, and looking through a lens of whether that be trauma or conditioning, right? And I feel called to remind y'all that through forgiveness, through processing uncomfortable or difficult feelings around things that might stem from resentment, through clearing that, you clear a blockage. And in one respect, the idea of a blockage being cleared, like, energetically, we can think of like chakras, you're clearing chakras, but practically speaking, you are clearing yourself of a skewed or muddled perception of reality that can come about when we have resentment that's unresolved. I hope that makes sense. But I just want to remind y'all that the process of forgiveness and releasing resentment is a very personal thing and often has nothing to do with that person or the people, anybody who frustrated you or angered you in the past. And okay. That's going to go ahead and be it for the reading for my Venus in Cancer individuals. And I'm sending you my love. And again, if you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and comment 3 Cancer emojis to let me know. But yeah, with that said, I'm sending you my love and I will see you in the next one. Peace. Hello, my Venus in Leo friends. Now, as a fiery sign that's ruled by the sun, those with Venus in Leo naturally can be very warm, confident, and expressive in matters of the heart and connection. So first up, let's talk about your unique charm, or your love superpowers, as I like to put it. So people are often drawn to Venus in Leo individuals for their confidence, their charisma, and their self-assured nature. When you're feeling yourself and feeling good, you can have a natural ability to light up any room that you walk in, and you can radiate energy that can often be pretty contagious. Now, one blind spot that Venus in Leo individuals might have can be a tendency to be a little too prideful or stubborn in matters of the heart. You may struggle a little bit with relationships that don't support or uplift your ego, and you may also have a tendency to put your own needs before others in relationships. Now, this can sometimes lead to a lack of emotional vulnerability and intimacy in your connections. So it'll be helpful to be aware of this and be sure to consider the needs, ideas, and longings of the people that you're in a relationship with, whether that be your collaborators at work, family, friends, or romantic relationships. Now, as a Venus in Leo, you naturally exude confidence, charisma, and oftentimes a sunny disposition when it comes to love. So to further enhance your relationships and love life, try incorporating a bit more vulnerability into your interactions. This can help you to form deeper, more meaningful connections with others, and it can also allow you to connect with your own emotions on a deeper level. By showing your softer side, you can be a real turn-on to those who appreciate the drama and passion that you bring to the table. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus in Leo person, they are often turned on by genuine admiration, compliments, and a sense of adventure. They love feeling adored, appreciated, and they enjoy being in the spotlight. For Venus and Leo individuals, partners who are not confident or who lack a strong sense of self can also be a turnoff. They also struggle with relationships that don't provide them with any sort of admiration, respect, or the attention that they crave. So in a relationship with someone with Venus and Leo, it can be very important to recognize and support their need to shine. They value a partner who can appreciate their unique talents and qualities, and who can boost their confidence and self-esteem. Show them affection and admiration often, and encourage them to be their bold, and bright selves. And when I say this, I don't mean constantly be their cheerleader. They're going to expect you to worship them and to constantly feed their ego, and they're going to be narcissists who need to only ever be praised by their partner. That's not necessarily what I mean. What I mean by this is that Venus and Leo people can often be particularly sensitive to the perspective of their partners, whether that's for the better or for worse. So what I mean by that is they need people who believe in them. They don't need to be around people or have partners who are constantly questioning what they're trying to do, because they're very sensitive to that. And oftentimes, because they are already very self-conscious and very often overly self-aware, they don't really need that extra critique, if that makes sense. I feel like a great example is a sports player. When you see them on the field, they're working their butts off, right? And their partner is in the stands cheering them on. When they're off of the field, their partner doesn't need to be constantly cheering them on, but when they are taxed, it goes the longest way. Like, their love language is just hearing somebody say, hey, you did a great job today. Like, I saw what you did and that was cool. Just being acknowledged for the work or the affection that they give you can go a long way. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this reading for Venus in Leo individuals, whether you are a Venus in Leo or if you are somebody who knows somebody with that transit in their charts. I would love to hear your perspective in the comments, or you can comment 3 Leo emojis to let me know you made it to the end. But before we go, I want to go ahead and pull a card from my Oracle deck for anybody who might be looking for an insight right now or kind of wants to hear something, a different perspective or a message. This is for you. What I pulled for you is, relationships. How about that? A video on relationships, and we get the relationship card. I am attracted to those people who serve my higher good. And you see the flower of life. I don't know if it'll focus. You see the flower of life in this. That's so beautiful. So for anybody who's watching this right now, my message to you is lean on the power of relationships, whether that be romantic or platonic. If you're looking for love right now, especially, or if you are even in a pre-existing relationship and you're looking to spice things up or have a deeper connection or just change the paradigm of things through better understanding, our relationships and our connection to community is really the key to everything. So whether you are single, hit up your friends and ask them to connect you with people. Hit up some friends and go to more group gatherings. Oftentimes, I think it's statistically proven that I think like most long-lasting relationships are started through mutual friends. Like, people who have mutual friends, whether they meet at a party or something or whatever, just by the sheer fact that you have mutuals in connection with you, it increases the likelihood that you will be connected and that you will align with one another, which I find to be really interesting. And if you're in a pre-existing relationship, oftentimes it's through having your own platonic relationships and friendships that also supports your romantic relationship, because you're not overly relying on your partner to be your therapist, your cheerleader, your walking buddy, have the same exact interest as you all the time. Historically, people had so much community and family around them all the time, and there wasn't this over-reliance on their partner to be everything for them. So I just want to remind y'all of that, of just being sure to water your own plant and allow that to overflow into your relationship, rather than coming from a place of lack in trying to get your partner to fill that cup for you all the time, if that makes sense. I also feel called to, I don't know if this resonates with anybody, but I just feel called to say that it's through taking care of yourself, your body, your nutrition, your movement, your sun exposure, your hydration, through doing all of that, that also ends up enriching your relationships, because you then end up having better mood, more energy, more libido, okay? Like, all of it. So just a reminder that strengthening relationships, whether they're pre-existing or new, oftentimes isn't all about focusing on that other person. Oftentimes it's about allowing our energy to go into different spaces and to learn from one another and feel inspired from different places, and then taking that and bringing that back into the relationship. Okay? All right, y'all, that's gonna go ahead and end this reading for my Venus and Leo friends. And like I said before, be sure to comment 3 Leo emojis if you made it to the end, if this reading resonated with you. And finally, don't forget that we're having our epic planner and wall calendar sale. So if that interests you, check it out. But with all of that said, I will leave you with my favorite quote. And that is, be gentle with yourself, because life is about the journey, not the destination. All right, bye friends. Hello, my Venus and Virgo friends. As a mutable earth sign ruled by Mercury, those with Venus in Virgo have a very unique approach to love and relationships in that they can often naturally attract people with their devotion, their willingness to work on the relationship, and their ability to make relationships work in practical terms. So first up, let's talk about Venus and Virgo's unique charm, or your love superpower, as I like to put it. So one of your strengths as a Venus in Virgo can be your ability to be analytical, practical, and down to earth when it comes to matters of the heart. You can have a very keen eye to detail and a natural ability to help your partner grow and improve. Your intelligence, organization skills, and your ability to run things smoothly can be very attractive qualities. Now, Venus and Virgo individuals can often also be known for their attention to detail and their impeccable taste, which can be very appealing to many people. You can also usually be seen as humble and modest, which can be endearing to others and make them feel a lot more approachable. You may also have a natural intuition for what others need and want, which can be very attractive to those that are looking for a caring and considerate partner. Now, for anybody looking to connect with a Venus and Virgo person, it'll be important to remember that they can sometimes be indirect when it comes to expressing interest, as they can tend to be a little shy and make small gestures that can sometimes be misinterpreted as being passive. They can often express love and interest through their support directly to you. So this can look like them hopping at the chance to offer advice or insight on how you can improve in your life. They are often seen as one of the most selfless and supportive Venus signs. However, one of Venus in Virgo's blind spots may be the tendency to be overly critical and perfectionistic. You may struggle to accept your partner for who they are, and you may focus on finding fault instead of appreciating the positive qualities that they have. You may also have a tendency to be overly analytical at times, and this can sometimes make it a bit difficult for you to truly connect on an emotional level, because then your partners might feel like they need to have their guard up. So, to better understand and work with your Venus and Virgo nature, try to focus on balancing your analytical skills with a more compassionate and open approach. Practice letting go of perfectionism and accepting your partner for who they are, flaws and all. Cultivate empathy and emotional intelligence to help deepen your relationships and to create more intimate connections. This can be through deepening your own self-acceptance that you will find it easier to do the same for those that you love. We are all on a lifelong journey of growth, and accepting that everyone learns in their own time will help you to thrive in your relationships while also holding space for those when they ask for help. Now, for anyone looking to romance a Venus and Virgo person, they're also turned on by partners who are intelligent, practical, and organized. They really appreciate partners who are down to earth and can bring stability to the relationship. They're also drawn to those who are well-read and knowledgeable. So be sure to read up. Now, Venus and Virgo individuals can be turned off by partners who might be too emotionally unavailable or lacking in intelligence. They also struggle with relationships that lack structure and stability, and they may be turned off by partners who are messy or disorganized. Now, when in a relationship with someone with Venus in Virgo, it's important to be supportive, dependable, and emotionally open. Show your intelligence and practical skills, and be willing to help your partner grow and improve just like they are for you. By creating a stable and structured environment, you can deepen your connection and create a more fulfilling relationship with them. All right, that concludes my reading for my Venus and Virgo friends. Be sure to comment 3 Venus emojis if you made it to the end, whether you have Venus in that sign or you know somebody who does. I'd love to hear your feedback from an outsider's perspective if any of these traits show up for you in your relationship with them. But before we go, I want to go ahead and pull from my Oracle card deck. For anybody who might be looking for any insight right now, I thought it'd be nice to offer an intuitive message. So your card is Judgment. Interesting. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. This is a powerful one. So if you're watching this right now, I feel like the message that you might need to hear right now is the power of empathy, the power of understanding that oftentimes what people say and do to us is usually a projection of their own reality. While yes, we do play a role and sometimes we do take part in creating certain situations that might be difficult or that might be frustrating. There are many situations where people are just going through life with a lot of pre-existing conditioning. And by understanding that, it can allow us to not take things as personally. For anyone who feels super self-conscious or is working through any sort of social anxiety or worry about judgment or fear of that, I just want to remind you that oftentimes, again, there's pre-existing conditioning going on. If there's somebody who is like judgy enough to be looking hard at you enough to judge all the flaws that you might be super aware of for yourself because you're around yourself all the time, if they really are feeling that way, they're the ones with the problem. They're the ones with pre-existing conditioning that has nothing to do with you. And it can be very freeing to embrace that concept and to remember that. I just want to remind you that if somebody's doing something weird or out of your comfort zone or something like that, let them be, because oftentimes the judgment that we're projecting onto other people also has to do with ourselves. So anyway, there's so much information there that we can learn from of like, why am I being judgy of this person? Why am I pointing them out? Oh, it's because I'm scared to do that. Or there's this social conditioning of how I'm supposed to behave that I follow that conditioning, but they aren't. Why aren't they? There's a lot of information that can stem from that. So having some self-inquiry within that space can be very helpful. But yeah, with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end this reading for Venus and Virgo. I am sending you my love. And yeah, that's the end. I'll see you in the next one. Hello, my Venus and Libra friends. Now, as an air sign ruled by Venus, those with Venus in Libra are all about harmony, beauty, and balance in their relationships. So their natural charm, grace, and charisma can make them very highly attractive to others. Now let's start by talking about your unique charm, or your love superpowers, as I like to call it. Now, one of your strengths as Venus in Libra is your ability to bring balance and harmony to your relationships, like mentioned before. Your charming, patient, and gracious nature often attracts people to you, and your impeccable sense of style and beauty is also very highly attractive. You have a natural ability to see both sides of an argument, and you can often be able to mediate any sort of conflicts with grace and diplomatic nature. This can make you a very ideal partner for those who are looking for someone who can offer them more balance and rationale in their relationships. Now, your social skills and ability to connect with others on an emotional level are also some of your greatest assets. Many of you can enjoy being in relationships and are able to put your partner at ease with your gentle and very understanding nature. However, one of your blind spots as Venus in Libra may be a tendency to avoid conflict and to put others' needs ahead of your own. You may also struggle with decision making, as you tend to weigh the pros and cons of every little situation before making a choice, especially in relationships. So to better understand and work with your Venus in Libra nature, try to focus on finding a balance between your needs and the needs of others. Practice assertiveness and decision-making skills to help you feel more confident in your relationship. Now, this can be done by taking time to write out what your wants and needs are in relationships and then setting boundaries accordingly. So if you feel like a boundary is constantly being crossed with you and you've communicated that before, It'll be important to put your foot down and let anybody in your life know who is doing that it's not appreciated and that you will no longer be allowing it. It is through creating these boundaries that in a non-conflicting way or a non-argumentative way, we can make sure to maintain our own needs. Because oftentimes people who are not aligned with it end up seeing themselves out anyway. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus and Libra person, they are often turned on by partners who are charming, graceful, and stylish. They're often drawn to those who can bring a balancing and harmonizing nature to their relationships and who are able to see both sides of an argument like they are. Now, Venus and Libra individuals can be turned off by partners who are too rigid, too stubborn, or unwilling to compromise when needed. They may also struggle with relationships that lack any sort of balance, and they may be turned off by partners who are a little too chaotic or unpredictable. Now, when in a relationship with someone with Venus in Libra, it can be very important to be supportive, communicative, and bring a balancing aspect to the relationship. So show your charm and grace and be able to mediate conflicts yourself to help to bring harmony into your partnership and not overly rely on your partner to do those things. By doing so, you can deepen your connection and create a more fulfilling relationship. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this reading for Venus and Libra. And before we go, I'm going to go ahead and do a quick oracle reading or an oracle card reading. I'm just going to pull one card. And this is for anybody who might be looking for any insight right now. This is for you. Ooh, this popped right out. Before I read this, if you aren't into readings or anything like that and you want to go ahead and comment 3 Libra emojis to let me know that you made it to the end of this video or whether or not this resonates with you. I'd also love to hear an outsider's perspective, anybody who doesn't have Venus in Libra, but you're watching this to better get to know your partner or somebody in your life that you want to connect with. I just love hearing that side of things too. All right, so this card reads, Success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. That is beautiful. This card, I feel like if you're here and I pulled this card while you're watching, this is a reminder that in the pursuit of success and what often is societally deemed as successful, I'm sure that if you think about those things, we're going to think of the same things. That's money, power, respect, status, things like that. Oftentimes we can lose sight of what we actually truly want. And this is just a reminder to, in your pursuit of whatever it is that you want in life, try to ask yourself, what is it that I want to feel? What is it that I'm hoping to feel deep down when I access, obtain, achieve whatever it is that I want to have? So, for example, when I was thinking of when I wanted to buy a house, I own a house now, but when I wanted to have it, what I ultimately wanted to feel was comfort. I wanted to feel protected. I wanted to feel isolated, but in a good way. You know what I mean? And when I tapped into those feelings, I realized that I had access to those feelings in the present moment. And that was through going to the park, being with friends, being in my own home before I moved. And it's through how we feel, our vibrational state, but it's the true language of manifestation and attracting things to us. As many of y'all already know, like attracts like. And so for this message, for anybody who needs to hear this, it's through the pursuit of love. It's through the creation and fostering of love and connection that we end up fostering more of that in life. And ultimately, what we're here to do on this earth is to love in the face of adversity, in the face of hatred, fear, all of these things. It's to fight for that love and to protect it when we experience it in others or in ourselves. So yeah, I hope this resonated with you. And I'm going to go ahead and end this reading. And just a reminder, if you made it to the end, be sure to comment 3 Libra emojis to let me know that you're coming from here. And you can also let me know if this reading resonated with you. But with that said, I'll see you in the next one. All right. Peace. Oh, that's Miss Coco. She's like, are you done recording yet? Hello, my Venus and Scorpio friends. So as a fixed water sign ruled by Mars and Pluto, those with Venus in Scorpio can have a deep and intense approach when it comes to love and relationships. Their natural magnetic energy and emotional depth can draw people towards them, making them oftentimes more naturally charming and captivating. So first up, let's start by exploring the Venus Scorpio charm, or how I like to put it, your love superpowers. So Venus and Scorpio individuals are often known for their intense passion, depth of emotions, and their ability to form deep connections with others without trying too hard. You are known to have an unrivaled ability to empathize with others, and you're naturally intuitive, picking up on others' unspoken needs and desires. You can also be highly resilient and fiercely loyal, which are qualities that make others feel very safe and secure when in your presence. Venus and Scorpios are also known for their magnetism and sexuality, making them naturally attractive to others. They also have a very strong sense of independence and confidence. Their mystery and often alluring nature sometimes leaves others wanting more, and they can sometimes be a challenge to understand, which can often be pretty exciting for some. But one of the blind spots of some Venus and Scorpios can be their tendency to be a little possessive, sometimes jealous, and a little controlling. Your emotional depth and intensity can sometimes overwhelm others when overused, and it can make it a bit difficult for them to feel more comfortable expressing themselves. You may also struggle to trust others, which can impact the growth and development of your relationships. So if that resonates with you and you notice that it might be easier for you to maybe lose trust in others or no longer want to give them another chance, increase that awareness and consider that you might have some blinders on relative to connection. Now, to work with your Venus in Scorpio nature, try to focus on developing trust and openness in your relationships. Practice letting go of control and possessiveness, and instead try to focus on empowering your partner to express themselves openly. Try to balance your intense emotions that you might have sometimes with a more lighthearted and positive approach when possible. This will help you to build a deeper connection with others. Now, for those looking to connect with a Venus in Scorpio, they're often turned on by partners who are confident, mysterious, and emotionally deep. They also appreciate a partner who can understand their complex nature and who's unafraid of their intense emotions. They're also drawn to those who are also independent and confident in themselves. Now, Venus and Scorpios can sometimes be turned off by partners who are emotionally shallow or lack depth. They may also struggle with relationships that are unfulfilling or may feel turned off by partners who are too passive or uninterested in exploring their emotions. Now, when in a relationship with a Venus in Scorpio, it can be very important to be confident, independent, and emotionally deep yourself. By understanding their complex nature, you can deepen your connection with a Venus in Scorpio person and create a more fulfilling relationship. I hope that this reading resonated with y'all, and I would love to hear whether or not my dating tips for people who are interested in Venus and Scorpio resonates for any Venus and Scorpio people. If you feel like, oh yeah, that does turn me on, ooh, that does put me off. Also, I'd love to hear the perspective of anyone who's watching this and interested in a Venus and Scorpio, and you're like, from an outsider's perspective, oh, I see those patterns, that's interesting. Or maybe not. Either way, if you made it to the end, I would love if you left 3 Scorpio emojis to let me know that you made it. Also, before we go, if you're interested and are looking for some insight, I'm going to go ahead and pull a card from my Oracle deck to hopefully offer a little bit of wisdom for this video for anybody who might need to hear it. So the card that you got is Worry. I am learning that worry doesn't change an outcome. Ooh, 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 ooh. This one. This one's really good. So anyone who's listening to this right now, I'm being called to remind you that oftentimes when we want to control things out of fear, worry, anxiety, that is us looking for a sense or a feeling of control in a situation. And sometimes it can be really helpful to acknowledge the fact that we don't fully have control over things. So for example, what comes to mind might be social anxiety, maybe in the dating realm, relationship realm, building friendships. When we worry about putting ourselves out there when wanting to connect, even if it's at work, any sort of social setting, an empowering perspective is, I can't fully control how people perceive me. That can be a very powerful affirmation to remember. Another affirmation that comes to mind that maybe could be helpful for you is, I'm allowed to exist. I'm allowed to exist. I don't know about you, but that affirmation has been helpful for me in the past in remembering that on the fundamental level, you're allowed to exist in however way that you exist, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Something else that I learned relative to like social anxiety or any sort of stressor around opening up to people or anything like that is that oftentimes we worry about how people perceive us because that's the one thing that we can control, or we perceive that we can control. Is like, I can't fixate on their perception of this, that, and the third, or their background, or what has impacted the way that they look at the world. But what I can control, or think I can control, is how they perceive me. You know, how I can assimilate in a way that is in alignment to be approved by the pack for survival, so to speak, you know. That's the reading that I got for y'all, and I hope that this resonated. And if it did, be sure to comment and let me know, because I'm really excited to start pulling more oracle cards. But either way, if you made it to the end of this video, a reminder, be sure to comment 3 Scorpio emojis. And don't forget to check out the Auriline Astrology Planner sale that we're having going on. So yeah. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace. Greetings, my Venus in Sagittarius friends. So as a fire sign ruled by Jupiter, you bring a unique and adventurous approach to love and relationships. Your natural charisma, positivity, and love of freedom are some of the things that help you stand out naturally when it comes to matters of the heart and connection. Let's first start by exploring the Venus in Sagittarius charm, or as I like to call it, your love superpowers. So one of your strengths as a Venus in Sagittarius individual can be your ability to bring excitement and a sense of adventure to any of your relationships. You have a natural enthusiasm for life that can often be contagious and can be incredibly attractive to others. Your love for independence and freedom is also a major draw for many people, as it allows you to truly be yourself and embrace your individuality. When feeling good, you can often have a great sense of humor, and you can find it easy to find the humor in different situations, which can be very endearing to others. Your optimistic outlook on life and your ability to see the best in people is also a very attractive quality that draws people to you naturally. However, one of your blind spots as a Venus in Sagittarius may be your tendency to prioritize your own freedom and independence over the needs of your partner. Now, you may also struggle with commitment, as the idea of being tied down can sometimes feel restricting to you. Now, to better understand and work with your Venus in Sagittarius nature, try to focus on balancing your love of freedom and independence with a more committed approach in your relationships. Cultivate empathy and emotional intelligence to help deepen your relationships and create a more intimate connection. It's also important to understand that true love and freedom can coexist in a healthy relationship. Now, for anyone looking to romance or connect with a Venus and Sagittarius person, they can often be turned on by partners who are also independent, adventurous, and have a great sense of humor. Venus and Sagittarius individuals can be turned off by partners who might be overly possessive or controlling. They can struggle in relationships that feel restrictive, and they may be turned off by partners who are not spontaneous or who lack a sense of humor. Now, when in a relationship with someone with Venus and Sagittarius, it's important to embrace their love of freedom and independence, as mentioned before, while also encouraging them to be more committed and open to the relationship. So remember, try to be spontaneous, adventurous, and allow them the space to be their authentic selves as well. By doing so, you can help to deepen your connection and create a more fulfilling relationship. All right, I hope that you enjoyed this reading for Venus and Sagittarius individuals, and I would love to hear your feedback in the comments, whether you are a Venus and Sagittarius or you are someone who is interested in learning more about someone in your life who has that transit in their charts. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card. So for anybody who is looking for some guidance right now, oh, this one popped out. Guilt. Interesting. I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Guilt. Interesting. So if you're watching this right now, maybe this message will resonate with you, but I just feel called to remind you that feelings of guilt, they absolutely have a utility in our lives. And that utility is mainly aiding us in learning from our experiences. It's through guilt that we can often be pulled from within to reflect upon past experiences and process them. But it's also important to remember that there's possible to have too much or too little of anything. So having too much guilt can sometimes hinder us from our own growth, whether that be because of this guilt, I feel like I need to punish myself to a certain extent or hold myself back to a certain extent. That goes beyond learning from what the experience is and then being able to move on and have a balanced life. So again, this affirmation is, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. The key word being growth. And one more tip, I feel like for anybody who maybe isn't feeling any sort of heavy guilt, I feel like a lot of times we can feel guilt when we experience a certain level of privilege or when we grow from a certain point in our lives and we gain a certain level of privilege and we're like, oh, I feel guilty because I want to help the world. And it's important to remember that guilt in that respect is also a utility. It's what can push us to then find ways to give back to the world. So remember to honor the guilt that you have, understanding that it is oftentimes a good feeling to have, and honor it by finding a utility for it, finding a productive way to better the world, to use that fuel for something productive. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if anybody needed to hear that. That was your message. And with that said, I'll go ahead and end this reading for my Venus and Sagittarius friends. And I'm sending you my love. And I hope to see you in the next one. All right. Peace. Hello, my Venus and Capricorn friends. So as Earth signs ruled by Saturn, those with Venus and Capricorn can have a very distinct approach to love and relationships that's often characterized by their practicality, their stability, and their dependability in terms of matters of the heart and relationships. Let's first start by highlighting your charm or your love superpowers, as I like to put it, as a Venus and Capricorn person. Now, one of the key strengths of Venus and Capricorn is their ability to bring structure and stability to relationships. You're naturally very reasonable, dependable, and can have a very strong sense of commitment, which can make you a very attractive partner. Your practicality and realism in matters of the heart is also a major draw, as it can help you to maintain a healthy balance in your relationships and connections. Now, Venus and Capricorn individuals are known for their ambition, and this can often be translated to success in their relationships. You're able to put in the hard work and effort needed to build a strong foundation, and this can create a deep sense of security for both partners. Your traditional values and loyalty to your partner can also be very attractive. However, it's important to be aware of some potential blind spots. So one of the challenges of Venus and Capricorn can be that you can sometimes be a little too focused on your goals and your ambitions and neglect the emotional needs of your partner. You may also struggle sometimes with expressing your own emotions, which can make it a little difficult for you to fully connect with your partner on a deeper level. For this card, I feel called to remind you that regardless of your age, your experience level, who you're collaborating with, everyone that you interact with has a potential to teach you something. In every interaction and experience that you have, there is a potential for growth. And oftentimes it's a matter of our perception of that. I think it could be helpful if this card feels like it resonates with you to look into what a growth mindset is and what limiting beliefs are. It will definitely open up a world for you, especially if you look it up like a few videos on YouTube or look into books on it. It can open up a world for you of potential and learning that it's through having a growth mindset and being open to the lessons of life and being open to the idea that you can always decide where you want to go in life, and being able to identify and deconstruct and separate our own psyche from our limiting beliefs, understanding that they do not define us and that they're a separate conditioning from society and not what our true potential is. It can often make you feel even more encouraged and energized to approach life in a much more engaged way, because you understand that you actually have way more power over your growth, development, and the path that you take in life than oftentimes our world really describes to you. So yeah, I hope that that message resonates for anybody who needs to hear it. And the last one is health. I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul. I love that perspective shift. So for anybody who needed the reminder, your body is your temple. Our souls are navigating the engine, the vehicle that is our body. And it's through taking care of it that we can have a better experience in this realm and this dimension, so to speak. And yeah, I feel like sometimes, I was just talking to my partner about this last night, that I feel like for many people, we've all been burned by diet culture. We've all been burned by toxic workout culture. And so for many of us, it can be very helpful to reframe our perception or our relationship with our health and how we take care of the body. Going for a walk, dieting, or eating more clean or eating more whole foods, as I like to encourage more so than the latter, is really a step in improving your quality of life. And it's not about I need to do this because I need to get to this end goal. Actually, I learned recently in a book, and maybe this insight can be helpful to you, that when we are focused on getting to an end goal, we have this picture in our mind of something, oftentimes we tend to fall off a lot more easily because we're just constantly waiting to get to that end goal, rather than embracing the process, embracing the journey on our way there, and looking to make our journey and the process of getting to where we want to be as enjoyable and aligned with who we are as possible. Some people look at dieting and exercise as this thing that's completely detached to who they are, and it's completely this sort of other culture and this other thing that they need to do. I just want to remind you that you can make the way that you eat in a clean and whole foods way, you can make that custom to who you are. Customize it in whatever way that's in alignment with your tastes and what you already enjoy. Eating the foods that you already enjoy and maybe swapping out ingredients. And when it comes to movement, that doesn't always necessarily equate to going to the gym and being in settings that are uncomfortable to you. That can look like starting by literally just walking. You know what I mean? That can start by doing some yoga. That can start by going to a dance class with a friend, or, doing something physically active outside with people in your life, If you enjoyed this reading, be sure to comment down below. Let me know. So anyway, I'll see you in the next one, and I'm sending you my love. Peace. Hello, my Venus in Aquarius friends. So as an air sign ruled by Uranus, those with Venus in Aquarius have a very distinct approach to love and relationships that can be often characterized by their individuality, freedom, and their eccentricity when it comes to matters of the heart and connections with others. So let's first start by highlighting Venus in Aquarius charms, or your love superpowers, as I like to put it. So one of the key strengths of Venus in Aquarius is their ability to bring very unique and often innovative perspectives to their relationships. You're naturally very independent, free-spirited, and open-minded in relationships, which can make you a very attractive partner for many. Your individuality and your willingness to challenge conversations in matters of love and connection is also a very major draw, as it can help you to maintain a fresh and exciting relationship. Now, Venus and Aquarius people are known for their very progressive values, and this can often translate to success in their relationships. You're able to bring new and unconventional ideas to the table and keep things in a relationship dynamic and interesting. Your very humanitarian values and support of your partner's goals and aspirations can also be very attractive. However, it can be very important to be aware of some potential blind spots. So one of the challenges of Venus in Aquarius is that you can sometimes be a little too focused on your freedom and your independence, neglecting the emotional needs of your partner. You may also struggle with forming deep emotional connections in general, which can make it difficult for you to fully invest in a relationship. So to better understand and work with your Venus in Aquarius nature, try to strike a balance between your individuality and your partner's emotional needs. Practice being more open with your feelings and allowing yourself to form deeper emotional connections when it feels right. Take your time to reflect on your priorities and ensure that your relationship is receiving the attention that it deserves. You may also find it helpful to be a little bit more grounded and present in your relationships instead of constantly seeking new and exciting experiences. So, if you're looking to connect with a Venus in Aquarius individual, they're often drawn to partners who are naturally independent and unconventional themselves, and also share their progressive values. They also appreciate partners that bring new perspectives to the relationship, as well as those who are supportive of their goals and aspirations. Now, Venus in Aquarius individuals may struggle with partners who are too traditional or who lack individuality themselves. They can also be turned off by partners who are overly emotional or too clingy. Now, when in a relationship with someone with Venus in Aquarius, it can be important to respect their independence and their freedom. Show your support of their progressive values and be willing to embrace their unique ideas and their perspectives. By maintaining an open-mindedness and a free spirit approach to the relationship, you can deepen your connection and create a more fulfilling relationship together. Okay, that is it for my reading for Venus in Aquarius individuals. If you are Venus in Aquarius or have that transit in your charts, I would love to hear your perspective of this reading, whether you liked it, whether there were other personality traits that you've noticed in yourself or others that I can talk about or expand upon in future videos. I would also love to hear of anybody who is looking to connect with someone with Venus in Aquarius in their charts and what your outside perspective has been of someone with Venus in Aquarius. But before we go, I'm actually going to pull an oracle card for anybody who might want to hear some insights right now. This reading will be for you. Ooh, perseverance. So I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. That's the affirmation for you right now. And with this I feel called to remind you of the power of consistency and the beautiful, beautiful breaking of the dawn after the long night, after you've been pushing yourself really hard, and also the perspective of healthy discomfort. Of when we push through things, we end up strengthening ourselves in a lot of ways. So that might be pushing through a difficult assignment at school, or pushing through a difficult project at work, or pushing through a difficult workout. With all of these things, when we are in the thick of a challenge, we're often at a crossroads where we're being called to decide whether or not what is so difficult is actually worth the work of and worth the suffering or the potentially healthy discomfort of getting there. So in terms of school, work, or working out, we are working towards a worthy cause, right? Or when we might find ourselves suffering or in discomfort, at that crossroads, we might also have some clarity realizing this ain't worth it. And understanding that either of those perspectives are valid and are very helpful can be incredibly illuminating in our lives. Because sometimes we might go through difficult things and it can be hard to push through. And sometimes that perseverance is necessary, and that perspective shift, that there is something very valuable on the other side of this. Yeah, that's perseverance. And I also feel called to mention a lesson that might resonate with you that I actually shared with my Venus in Capricorn friends. It's the perspective shift of moving away from focusing on the carrot, the carrot that you're running towards when working, and embracing the process of getting there. Again, like I say this at the end of my videos for a reason, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. The journey is the key. Understanding your process to getting to something and embracing that can make a huge difference when it comes to perseverance. So again, when it comes to work, maybe you want to achieve something relative to your career, or maybe you want to work out and you want to get to a certain point health-wise. The process of getting there can sometimes be difficult, but rather than focusing on what you want to achieve, embracing the process and making that process as comfortable and aligned with who you are can often be what makes perseverance a lot easier. I hope that resonated with you, and if it did, be sure to comment in the description box, like if that's something that you felt like you needed to hear right now, or maybe not, I'd love to hear your perspective. But yeah, again, if you don't want to comment that, you can comment 3 Aquarius emojis. Either way, when you engage in my work, it's so appreciated. And, oh, dang, I just dropped like 3 cards. Anyway, I will see y'all in the next one, and I'm sending you my love. Peace. Hello, hello, my Venus and Pisces friends. So, as a water sign, you are ruled by Neptune, and those with Venus and Pisces can have a very distinct approach to love and relationships that's often characterized by their creativity, their sensitivity, and their intuition. So, let's first start by highlighting your love superpowers, as I like to call it, for Venus and Pisces individuals. Now, one of your key strengths can be your ability to connect deeply with others on an emotional level. You're naturally empathetic, compassionate, and can often have a strong intuition, which can make you an excellent listener and a supportive partner. Your creativity and imaginative approach to love can also add an extra touch to your relationships that makes you more unique and makes your interactions more meaningful. Individuals like yourself are also known for your gentle, selfless nature, and this can often translate to success in relationships. Venus and Pisces individuals are also appreciated for their ability to put the needs of their partners before their own and create a sense of comfort and safety in their relationships. Your compassionate nature and ability to see the good in others is also a very strong draw, as it helps to maintain a positive and harmonious relationship with the people around you. However, it's important to be aware of some of the potential blind spots. Now, one of the challenges of Venus and Pisces can be you can sometimes be a little bit too trusting and too giving in relationships, and you can sometimes neglect the needs of your own desires. You may also struggle with boundaries and may find it difficult to say no to your partner. So to better understand and work with your Venus and Pisces nature, try to strike a balance between your giving nature and your own needs. Practice being assertive and setting clear boundaries in your relationships, and take the time to reflect on what you actually want out of your relationship to ensure that your partner is aware of your needs. It may also be helpful to practice self-care and put yourself first so that you may have enough energy to actually pour into your relationship to begin with. Now, if you're looking to connect with a Venus and Pisces individual, they're often drawn to partners who are also compassionate and understanding and have a strong level of emotional intelligence. They often appreciate partners who are creative and imaginative, and who offer a sense of safety and comfort in their relationships. Now, Venus and Pisces individuals may sometimes struggle with partners who are a little too insensitive or lack empathy. They can also be turned off by partners who are a bit too rigid or unyielding in their approach to relationships. So, when in a relationship with someone with Venus and Pisces, it can be important to be understanding and compassionate. Show your own empathy and support of your partner, and be willing to connect with them on an emotional level. By nurturing a gentle and caring relationship, you can help to deepen your connection and create a more fulfilling relationship together. All right, friends, that's it for my reading for Venus and Pisces individuals. If you have that transit in your chart, or if you're watching this to better get to know somebody who has this transit in their chart, I would love to hear your feedback in the comment section. Or you can simply just comment 3 Pisces emojis to let me know that you made it to the end. Also, don't forget to check out the planner sale. And before we go, I want to go ahead and offer an Oracle deck card reading. And your card popped out immediately. So for anybody who's looking for some insight right now, your card is denial. And a good affirmation for you can be, I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. That's really interesting. It seems like this card is here for you to remind you that denial can be a very, very powerful ability in our lives. It's kind of similar to the placebo effect in that we can sometimes unconsciously believe things to uphold our belief systems or what's comfortable for us. And understanding that we might be in denial in certain situations is what can help us to actually work through it. But we can sometimes have an avoidant personality where we don't want to deal with it. But it's important to understand, and I feel called to remind you that while denial and avoidance can help you to feel comfortable in the moment, it's very, very momentary. And it doesn't end up actually solving the problem or getting to the root of it. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. But I am sending you my love, and I will see you in the next one. All right.